What's up, everybody, and welcome to another Fresh Ink Friday. This is the video series where I show off the exclusives, my LCS hauls, and any other comic books I picked up along the week. So ignore the glare before we get started, but hopefully you guys are having a wonderful week. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the pin comment. I love interacting with you, and let's just get right into it. Look at this mean bad boy. These are the Terrifier from Cap Nam, Captured Collectibles, No Mask Comics. Shout out Martin Zavala, 83 out of 200. I am a huge fan of greens and the neon and the pink. He is doing a whole set on these. They're in Mylar already, so again, ignore the glare. I actually recorded this video once already, lost all the audio, so it's a little bit darker, so I don't have my light set up, so ignore that. But again, starting off with this one, and then I only bought that one because I am saving up for New York Comic Con. But man, shout out to Nomos. Always got to rep you, brother. He sent these two for free. So again, these are going to be super hard to see. Almost like wet spot foil. Just absolutely mind-blowing. Martin Zavala, 63 out of 200. And then you have the Annabelle. So there you go, all spot foiled out of its mind, all done by Martin Zavala, limited to 89 out of 200. Check out Nomos Comics, check out Captured Collectibles as well on the website. If you're interested in any of these or any of their past exclusives, they got some heat coming up from New York Comic Con. So let's get into our new comic book days from ABX Comics and Games. Yet another massive week for independents, in my opinion. Boom Studios, Dynamite, Image, Keenspot, all that independent goodness have been blowing Marvel and DC out of the water for the past year, maybe 2 years. So if you haven't checked anything out by some of these independent companies, check out some trades, collected edition omnibuses. In no way means Marvel or DC is not putting out some banger books. In my opinion, some of the Ultimate stuff and Absolute stuff from Marvel and DC are right on par with some of this independent stuff. So we're gonna start with Marvel, Ultimate Wolverine. I'm not a big X-Men fan, but this book, in my opinion, I watch a lot of YouTube reviews as well. This is like the full X-Men book that everybody likes that they're reading compared to the regular X-Men books, but I love it. It's gory, it has tons of X-Men characters, bloody, action, all that kind of stuff. And if you didn't know, Ultimate Wolverine is actually the Winter Soldier in this universe. So issue number 9, Ultimate Wolverine, and then we have Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, issue number 4. I was a little bit more excited on the series when it first started, but then after reading issue number 1 and 2, it's whatever. It's just kind of meh. We have Miles entering the Ultimate Universe. It shows how that happened in Ultimate Invasion in the first issue. So I don't know why we're getting this old spinoff. There's a lot of tie-in characters as well, but that's happening in the Ultimate. So I'm just kind of flipping through this, still collecting it because we're going all in with everything Ultimate stuff, which ends at the end of the year. Next, we have Absolute Batman, some DC stuff, and then I have one more Marvel. Absolute Batman issue number 12. Issue number 11 was weird, but still fun. Absolute Batman has been off the chain since the beginning. Like I said, all the Absolute stuff except Absolute Flash are on my pull list. But we're gonna see how this ramps up because you know our boy Killer Croc is gonna be in this issue. And then brand new issue number 1, this is Marvel Red Band. I already took it out because like I said, I filmed this video once, so I already took it out and showed you guys. Just a forewarning, I've seen a lot of shops and a lot of copies. If you got the foil, if you can see right there, Marvel, I know you guys aren't watching, but man, you guys got to do something about your Red Band books and foils. Anytime they're Red Band or in a poly bag, the foils always leave a little indentation. There you can see it real good. So super cool cover. I got it for the story, and this is the cover I wanted with anyway. So I definitely wanted to check it out as I'm not a big Punisher reader. So I'm always looking for a good jumping on point. And I heard it's pretty good, and I always love a good gore fest and everything. And at the end of the day, even with the crease, who cares, man? That's still a dope cover. So let's check out all these independent books that I got for the week. So there's still one more DC book hiding in that pile. This is DC Supergirl, issue number 5. Not reading the series whatsoever, but me and my girlfriend love collecting Chrissy Zulo covers. She's such a fabulous person to meet in person. We actually got the Crypto, that's kind of like the pairing companion piece to this. So those will look good together. Like I said, Chrissy Zulo, always an artist I love supporting. If you guys get a chance to meet her in person, such a great person. Next, we have more of my favorite cover artist, Jenny Frison. Hello Darkness, I think we're on like issue 12 or 13. Series is coming to an end at like issue 16, but I've collected every single Jenny Frison cover. Not reading it, but I think I'm gonna go back and read it during Halloween. I'm doing a whole horror series on Instagram, 31 days of Halloween horror covers, so check me out on there, link in the description. But we're gonna go back and read it during Halloween. Like I said, 3 short stories and we'll see how it is. And then somehow I missed, I think this is like issue 5 or 6. Totally missed this, I don't know, it slipped through the cracks on my pull list, but had to go back. Love the zombie cover, and like I said, Jenny Fire, always great. Speaking of good reads and things like that, we have Space Ghost from Dynamite Comics issue number 2. We have the Mattina cover and the Bjorn Bendis cover. This was one of my top like 5 reads of last year. Rook from Ghost Machine Image was my #1 read, but Space Ghost was the surprise of the year. It's way more adult, mature, gritty, tons of action. The artwork is insane. Line work is so clean. And if you ever grew up watching Space Ghost, the original cartoon, that was a little bit before my time, but I did grow up watching, shout out to them 90s kids, Space Ghost Coast to Coast. So I had no idea going into the series what it was going to be, because Space Ghost Coast to Coast was kind of like late night cartoon vibes, more adult, more comedy and things like that. They had like special guests, and like I said, it was like a cartoon talk show. But this book is off the chain. So this is volume 2, issue number 2. If you guys missed the first volume, you can pick it up in trade. And then I'm collecting the 1 in 10 Bjorn Bendis covers. I need to have the main cover on my pull list, so I got 2 of them. So don't normally like to do that, so we'll definitely have to get that cleared up. Let's finish with this last little stack. We have Blood and Thunder issue number 5. This is a book I had no expectations, nothing going in, and it's been off the chain. I've loved every single issue. Issue number 3 was a little bit more of a backstory and slower pace, but everything else, action. If you're familiar with Borderlands, shout out to my gamers out there. Borderlands 4 just came out and I'm loving it. That's kind of what this book is like with the weapons. Weapons talk, have a personality, and they're just super out there. And in fact, we found out in the last issues from the writer notes, I always thought she was like half bald or whatever, and somebody asked a question to the writer, and he actually answered that her hair, this red, is just a living organism gas. So she's actually half bald, but still, super fun series. Now we have some Spawn goodness. We're going on with King Spawn, issue number 49. We're almost to that milestone. Issue number 50, we're gonna have crazy covers, Scotty Young, all kinds of variants, so I'm super excited about that. I did not expect this issue in the series to go on this long. So I thought it was gonna be like a 10-issue series, 15-issue series, but we're almost at 50. Super dark, super gritty. You know I always love my Spawn. And then speaking of Spawn, I had to get this cover. If you missed any of the San Diego Comic-Con footage, Thaddeus Roebuck, Spawn cover artist. He was actually at the Image booth signing with Todd McFarlane. Linked up with him before the con, reached out to him on Instagram, we talked back and forth, and then he was actually at the Rups Comics booth. So if you guys are new here, I do sell on eBay and whatnot for Rups Comics. We are the reps for Alex Ross, Bill Sienkiewicz, and we do everything with Aspen Comics, long-standing LCS from Fremont, Ohio. So we had a booth at San Diego, and we had him signing. So that was super cool, and of course I had to pick up his cover. And then one of my sleepers, I forget what this book is called. I think this is like Everything Dying Around Us. I want to take it out just to make sure, that way you guys know, because this is one of the virgins. Everything Dead and Dying. I think this is from, what, Boom Studios or Image? No, this is Image, Charlie Adler. If you guys were fans of the Walking Dead series or zombies or anything, that is what this is like, but kind of a new take. So it's basically like a farmer that's out in the middle of nowhere, and he hasn't been really affected by the zombie apocalypse because he's out there. Sleeper read of the week, sleeper read of the month, in my opinion. Definitely grab it. It's issue number 1, and there's some second prints coming. We talked about this in one of the last videos. Godzilla, I was so nervous and anticipating this book because, in my opinion, I'm a big Godzilla kaiju fan. Love all the lore, love all the series and everything, but man, we just need a more gritty, more adult, more mature Godzilla book, and this is it. Godzilla, Tim Seeley from IDW, definitely hit all the nails on the coffin, baby. So super action vibes, great artwork. If you're looking for something that's not super kid-friendly when it comes to Godzilla, still great for kids, but it's definitely more of an adult read, so love that. And speaking of books I love, Feral issue number 16, continuing the series. We talked about Walking Dead before. This is like Walking Dead with cats, and if you have issue number 9, feel free to turn to the back page to the keyboard cats, look up an orange boy named Key and a one-eyed cat named Patches. Those are our cats, and they are featured in the back of issue number 9. So I got some original art from Trish Forstner. Love the series, love Tony Fleece as well. So Feral issue number 16. Leaves us on to our final 2 books that I wanted to save for last because these are definitely a special place in my heart. Daniel Warren Johnson, if you did not know, is one of my favorite artists, favorite writers as well. I fell in love with his storytelling and artwork and how he crafts comics with Do a Powerbomb, and I've read everything he has touched since and before. Have tons of original artwork from him, remarks, signatures, and all that. And this is his last issue. Issue number 24 of Transformers. I became a Transformers fan with the Michael Bay series, so I never really got into it as a kid. I'm a 90s kid, so it was a little bit before my time. But when this came out, when I knew Daniel Warren Johnson, Jorge Corona, Mike Spicer, the three-headed monster, every issue from issue number 1 to this has been a mastercraft in my opinion. It has become so near and dear in my heart, and it's so just surreal that Daniel Warren Johnson elevated it to such a level that I've even went back to collect the original run. I've watched a bunch of the old cartoons, the movies, everything. So I just want to give him a big salute, a big applaud. And if you haven't read any of the Transformers, it is still going strong. There's plenty of trades, collected editions. We got Void Rivals, all kinds of tie-ins. And now we have Robert Kirkman from Invincible, Walking Dead, and Dan Mora taking over. So I'm still excited for the book, but I don't know if it's going to have that same emotional value that Daniel Warren Johnson had. And like I said, I love the homage to the original cartoons. Got all these for cover price, and they're the David Nakayama 1 in 10s. I think there's 6 of them, and they build like a landscape cover, connecting cover of the Constructicons. So that's it. Like I said, huge shout out to Daniel Warren Johnson. Can't thank him enough. Definitely going to be getting issue number 24 signed because I have issue number 1 signed, so I want to kind of complete that circle. Let me know what your favorite cover was. Hit that pinned comment, like, share, subscribe. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Whatnot. We are live on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. We are gearing up for New York Comic-Con. We're going to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with all the Alex Ross, all the exclusives and everything. So like I said, make sure you're staying up to date on Instagram. Let me know if there's anything I missed, if there's anything I should be reading, and let me know how your guys' week is. But either way, I hope you guys have a good weekend. Thank you for stopping by. Stay legendary. But as always, I hope you guys find what you're looking for. Thank you.